All right, welcome back everybody. My name is Pratash here with Kaizen Crypto, bringing you guys another video. So I hope you guys are all doing well and that you're having a great day. Today is Saturday, March 28th of 2020. So what we are looking at here today, I've got some information for you guys regarding Cardano. Recently in an interview, Charles Hoskinson spoke more on some dates that we can anticipate coming up here for the Byron Reboot, and shortly after that's the Shelly Haskell testnet. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys here in this video. And also taking a look, recently IOHK released an article on their blog talking about Hydra. So Hydra is the scaling solution that is going to be built on top of Cardano. I just wanted to share with you guys some key points here in this article. Definitely check it out. There's a lot of value. I'm going to be sure to link to all these articles in the description below. Taking a look also, recently we're seeing lots of things in the news talking about COVID-19, the coronavirus, and it's very sad to see that recently Dr. Ron Paul's son, Rand Paul, has actually been diagnosed. So I thought it would be appropriate to just kind of get some thoughts from him. For those of you guys who are in the crypto community, I know myself personally, I'm more of a libertarian-minded person myself, so I definitely resonate with Dr. Ron Paul's message. So just want to share that with you guys here in this video as well, and taking a look also at some charts here for COVID-19. The US officially has passed 6 figures in terms of confirmed cases. So my thoughts on all of that here in this video. If you guys do find some value from this video here today, please be sure to drop a like for me. It lets me know that you guys enjoyed it and that you did find some value from it. If you guys are new to the channel and if you want to stay tuned for content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I post content like this as often as I can. I want to keep you guys informed and up to date. Click that notification bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. So to start things off, and what we're taking a look at here recently, Charles Hoskinson came out in an interview talking more about some expected releases here coming down through the pipeline. So I've got this article pulled up and I've got a few key points highlighted here. What we're going to be anticipating here coming up in the coming days is the Byron Reboot. Essentially, it's rewritten code, 100% like redone, to be compatible with the Shelly upgrades once Shelly hits mainnet. So taking a look at this article here, with a strong degree of certainty, we're going to ship the end of this month the Byron Reboot. If it's not the end of the month, it'll maybe be in a week or two. It's a very strong certainty that at the end of the month, we'll get that milestone. As for the Shelly Haskell testnet, at the end of this month, we'll have a significantly better idea of what sprint that's going to arrive at. Once we've done those two things, then we can look at our estimation, we can look at our velocity with the backlog, and we will know with an absolute degree of certainty the release date for Shelly, because I have it on paper. I actually know when we think Shelly's going to launch, but that's an internal estimate, and we've been a little bit bad historically with those things. We're being a bit more cautious with our release days. All right, very transparent operation here from Charles and the entire team. It's very, very cool to see that they are releasing these updates at a more frequent pace. I know that their release cadence right now they're going off of is about 2 weeks. And even if you're a stake pool operator, I'm thinking they're coming out with a new version of Jormungandr almost like every Wednesday. So it's pretty cool the velocity at which these guys are working. They're really churning out this product so that it's the high level that we're all anticipating. But very, very close. So if you guys are eagerly anticipating Shelly, if you're ready to start staking your ADA, hang in there. We are at the final stretch. I'm going to keep you guys updated with all the news and relevant information for that. Now, after the Byron Reboot, so once they have that set in place, talking more about the Shelly Haskell testnet. So let's continue on here in this article, saying we've completely rebuilt the product. Hopefully, now that that's done, it'll be very quick for us to add things like smart contracts and governments and so forth, as opposed to going through what we went through rewriting Byron, which was just a miserable 2-year process. The reboot is almost certainly coming out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Then shortly thereafter, the Shelly Haskell testnet will come out. I hope for April, but in the worst case, it'll probably be May. It's hard to know, so we'll announce that date when we announce the Byron Reboot. So guys, essentially what's happening here is they're coming out with these updates in tandem, so each one kind of has to be built off of the other. And I think once we have these updates coming onto the network, they're going to have a better understanding of how much time they're going to need in order to finalize their release cadence, right? So they're coming out with these upgrades. We've got the Byron Reboot, we got the Shelly Haskell testnet. After that, it's pretty much Shelly's game on from there. Then we're talking about Gogan, smart contracts. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but as we can see here that there is definitely structure, there is a method behind the madness. So just wanted to bring you guys that here with this article. I'm going to be linking to all of these in the description below if you guys want to check them out. Next up, taking a look more in depth at Hydra. So I did release a video talking about Hydra earlier here in the channel. I'm going to link to that if you guys want to check that out. But this is going to be an article that they just recently released on their blog. I just wanted to share with you guys some thoughts on that. So Hydra is going to be a scalability solution, and scalability is the greatest challenge to a blockchain's adoption. So what is scalability and how do we measure it? Scaling a distributed ledger system refers to the capability of providing high transaction throughput, low latency, and minimal storage per node. These properties have been repeatedly touted as critical for the successful deployment of blockchain protocols as part of real-world systems. In terms of throughput, the Visa network reportedly handles an average of 1,736 payment transactions per second, with the capability of handling up to 24,000 TPS, and is frequently used as a baseline comparison. Transaction latency is clearly desired to be as low as possible, with the ultimate goal of appearing instantaneous to the end user. Other applications of distributed ledgers have a wide range of different requirements in terms of these metrics. When designing a general-purpose distributed ledger, it is natural to strive to excel on all three counts. So that is essentially what they're aiming to achieve here with Hydra. And taking a look here, Hydra is an off-chain scalability architecture for distributed ledgers, which addresses all three of the scalability challenges mentioned above: high transaction throughput, low latency, and minimal storage per node. While Hydra is being designed in conjunction with the Ouroboros protocol and the Cardano ledger, it may be employed over other systems as well, provided they share the necessarily salient characteristics with Cardano. Despite being an integrated system aimed at solving one problem, scalability, Hydra consists of several sub-protocols. This is necessary as the Cardano ecosystem itself is heterogeneous and consists of multiple entities with differing technical capabilities. The system supports block producers with associated stake pools, high throughput wallets as used by exchanges, but also end users with a wide variety of computational performance and availability characteristics. It is unrealistic to expect that one-shoe-fits-all single protocol approach is sufficient to provide overall scalability for such a diverse set of network participants. So their aim with Hydra is to make it a dynamic scaling solution that is going to be a layer that is built on top of the Cardano protocol. And this is, it's definitely going to pave the way for being able to bring Cardano to the real world. If you compare something like Bitcoin's transactions, right? If you're trying to send money to somebody using Bitcoin, yes, you're using secure, distributed, decentralized money. However, the throughput and the transaction speed, it's very slow. Like, you're not going to necessarily go and buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin. It's just, it's not fast enough. But that's not the intention for Bitcoin. I don't think so. I think that Bitcoin is intended to be that store of value. Here with Cardano, I think what they're really aiming to build, with these types of solutions is truly a global financial operating system, something that you can use every day for everyday transactions. So very cool to see. Those are just some of my thoughts on that. Taking a look here, shifting gears just a little bit, a lot of news lately talking about the recent events here happening with COVID-19. Recently, Dr. Ron Paul's son, Rand Paul, was diagnosed with having the virus. So I just wanted to share some of his thoughts here in this video as well. This article is on Zero Hedge. Me personally, I'm a libertarian, so I definitely do find a lot of Dr. Ron Paul's message, they resonate with me. And some of the things that he talked about here in this article, I guess just to summarize it for you, talking about maybe the problem isn't so much what we're seeing with coronavirus. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, the virus definitely does have significant health ramifications. We're going to see people die from this virus. Hospitals are currently overwhelmed. But another problem that we have, and he addresses that very well in this article here, is the overreach of these governments and these politicians, basically putting their foot in the way of the free market and, the global economy and whatnot. They're really trying to overreach with their power grab that they have going on here. So a couple of key points in this article. So he quoted here, the problem is that this crisis was blown up so some people, the ruling class, could expand and broaden their power over the public. And Dr. Paul says, hopefully, the masses will wake up soon to what the government is doing to them and their future. So just look at who has been hurt the most so far. The poorest Americans in service industries that the ruling class demanded to shut down. Dr. Paul says the only real danger is the government's expansion of power and the already sick or elderly who will get the coronavirus. But that danger to our susceptible population already exists and has for years in the form of colds and several strains of the flu, so the panic and shutdown is unwarranted, unless you want more power and totalitarian control. So I agree with that to a certain extent. However, I think that we see people taking a few more extra precautions, like for countries who've, been able to enforce wearing masks when you're going out in public, or protecting yourself with gloves, or being conscientious of, what surfaces you're touching. I think that this virus definitely is a bit more contagious than something like the flu. However, we can see that the extent to which these governments are going to kind of shut down the economy, it's really, really just overarching. The people who love control, even local officials such as governors who canceled school or shut down economies in their state, love the power that they're getting from this, says Dr. Paul. These power-hungry politicians love putting the public under threats of arrest if they dare balk at the power grabs of these politicians. Even in what used to be a liberty-minded state like Wyoming, the governor has threatened martial law, saying he has the power to use law enforcement to issue a shelter-in-place order. And that's in a state with 53 confirmed cases, 7 confirmed recoveries, and no deaths from COVID-19. And then finally, he goes on to say that the real danger is the federal and local government's overreaction to this outbreak. I definitely agree with that. I feel like where we're at currently, the economy is pretty much shut down. People can't go to work, which means people can't pay their bills. It's going to be a domino effect, really. And we can see that, the Federal Reserve just printed, 6.2 trillion? The American, I guess if you filed your taxes, if you have a Social Security number, you're going to be receiving a check in the mail. But that's, $1,200? That's going to be peanuts compared to what is happening with these corporations. They're getting a bailout to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. So, really, really just a power grab, if nothing else. But those are just some of my thoughts here. And then lastly, I wanted to leave you guys with this. Taking a look at some charts here for COVID-19, really starting to pick up pace here with its exponential growth. And one thing I wanted to point out here, we can see here in the US, confirmed over 6 figures in terms of cases. We can see that this is a straight parabolic growth curve. Pretty crazy to see. Granted, the amount of deaths don't nearly compare to that of something like Italy. But, it's a very stark reality that we're living in right now. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys are all staying safe and that you guys are all staying healthy. Again, guys, if you did find some value from this video here today, be sure to drop a like for me on your way out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.